Welcome to Vigilante Justice Chronicles. This is the Fireside Briefing, Truth by the Firelight, with your hosts, the Keeper and the Watcher, where we bring forward the saga of Vigilante Justice.
The deep dive is back. And today, wow, we've gone through the source material you all sent in. And it's this incredibly dramatic stack of folklore, notes, maps, all from the American South.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is. We're not just wading into history here. We're looking at the haunted history of systemic failure.
That's a perfect way to put it. Our mission today is a really intense look at this very specific cultural narrative. It sits right in the heart of the Southern Gothic tradition.
Right.
It's where Deep South folklore and, total institutional breakdown just collide. And it's all under this really chilling banner of vigilante justice.
And that's the key, right? The role of the supernatural. The sources, they map out this whole region, mostly the Mississippi and Louisiana Delta, where the ghosts, the witches, the monsters, they aren't just background noise.
No, not at all.
They are the ultimate reckoning.
Oh.
They are literally the enforcement arm against corruption that the powers that be tried so hard to hide.
It's such a powerful claim. And these stories, they only seem to exist, or at least gain traction, in these sort of forgotten corners of the Delta, places where justice just completely failed, where corruption took root a long, long time ago.
So the core tension is what?
The core tension, and really the emotional heart of this whole thing, is that when living people fail to protect the innocent, when they fail to uphold the law, the dead will. They will rise up to enforce that accountability.
It's like the past has just reached a tipping point, fueled by all this injustice, and now it's actively fighting back.
Exactly. The past isn't just present, it's armed.
Okay, so let's unpack this. I think we have to start with this setting, because the geography here is absolutely a character in the story.
Oh, for sure.
The sources basically map out this entire region as Corruptionville. It's a place defined by political struggle on one hand and supernatural unrest on the other.
And what's so fascinating is how the physical landscape, the actual soil, the swamps, the cracked roads, it becomes a literal battleground. It's a vault for all these buried secrets.
So you have the Mississippi and Louisiana Delta region.
Right, where you see these institutions of control clashing, violently, with these untamed mystical forces of nature.
And the locations listed are so evocative. You've got major sites like Parchman Prison. That name alone just screams consequence, control, state power.
And it's situated right near the infamous House of the Rising Sun.
That juxtaposition, it tells you everything about the moral landscape, doesn't it?
It does. You have the official arm of the state, the prison, and right next door you have this symbol of moral ruin. It establishes that the corruption is, it's structural and it's moral. It's both official and, illicit.
But then the map shifts pretty quickly from concrete buildings to just raw nature. We see the Yazoo River connecting these points.
And it leads you right into the territory of the voodoo swamp.
That feels intentional.
Oh, completely. The river and the swamp, they symbolize that the spiritual power of the Delta is always flowing. It's always moving to meet these areas of human neglect.
So it's like human order might fail. Parchman might fail.
Right, but the forces rooted in the land and the voodoo swamp, they offer a different kind of justice, a more primal kind.
And the names themselves suggest this isn't recent history. It's about inherited sin. We see references to U.S. Grant's Cave, which links back to the Civil War, and then right next to it, Piggy Pig's Barn.
Those deeply specific local names tell you the secrets are personal. They're intensely regional. The sources are so clear on this. You can't separate today's corruption from the historical foundations of the place.
So why U.S. Grant's Cave specifically?
Well, think about it. It's a point of consequence, of control, of strategy during a foundational conflict. The cave digger, who we'll get to, he isn't just digging randomly. He's digging up the roots of that inherited sin. The landscape itself holds the memory.
So if the landscape is holding the memory of every sin, who or what is acting on it? And that's where we get to the rogues gallery.
This is where it gets really interesting.
It does. Because the source material gives us this precise list of supernatural entities. And every single one of them is dedicated to fighting the very institutional sins that power tried to bury.
They're not random encounters. These are highly targeted supernatural agents. Agents of reckoning. Let's start with the Mississippi Hellhounds.
Okay, and the sources make this connection impossible to miss. These things are directly confronting law enforcement. They're linked to Vicksburg's haunted patrol cars.
The visual is just so potent. You see these huge, dark wolves. They're explicitly chained, but now they're loose, and they're attacking a wrecked police car.
And the description is key.
It is. Glowing green eyes, dark fur, drooling jaws, and the chains. The chains suggest this is a force that was once bound, maybe even, enslaved by the system. But it's broken free, and it's turning all that violent power directly on the symbols of state control.
That's an incredible metaphor. Enforcement against failed enforcement.
Right.
If you see a wrecked police car being torn apart by a hellhound,
Yeah.
you get it. The normal rules are gone.
That's the core message. But then, moving away from that kind of direct violence, you find a different kind of retribution in The Witch of Yazoo.
The witch is connected to the cursed ashes of Yazoo City. So that suggests something older, a deeper grievance.
Exactly. Unlike the Hellhound's attack, the witch represents this powerful, ancient spiritual justice that crosses generations. And the image we see is this brilliant mix of old folklore and modern warning.
The cloaked figure, right?
Yeah, the cloaked figure with the pointed hat, but she's lit up by this massive, almost tacky neon orange sign that spells out her name. It's folklore demanding to be seen right now.
It's like the sins are old, but the warning is new and bright. You can't miss it.
And then we pivot again to the Vicksburg cave digger. If the witch is retribution and the hellhounds are resistance, the cave digger embodies the sheer, hard, unsettling work it takes to bring the truth to light.
And he's explicitly linked to U.S. Grant's cave, so historical secrets. What does he look like?
He's a figure of hard labor. He's wearing a skull or an antler mask, carrying a heavy pickaxe and a lantern to see in the dark.
The mask is key.
The mask is vital. It makes him an anonymous force, a worker of consequence operating outside the law. And his only purpose, based on that pickaxe, is excavation. He's digging up the foundations of the current corruption.
So his first act is basically forensic investigation. It completely reframes the idea of a monster. He's not just destroying things, he's looking for evidence.
Absolutely. And you can't forget the supporting cast. The sources mention the Honey Island swamp monster, the grave-bound queens of the Delta.
Right.
These figures make sure that the entire landscape, the swamps, the river, it's all animated by these restless forces just waiting to rise up when corruption hits its peak.
So the whole ecosystem reacts to human moral failure. The monsters aren't the problem, they're the immune response.
You've got it. That solidifies the whole Southern Gothic idea. The decay, the supernatural, it's always tied to moral rot.
So let's connect all this to the core conflict. What does it mean for the human system? The ghosts and monsters, they're not just here for a jump scare. They're fighting back against leaders who betrayed them.
Which puts the whole conflict squarely in the political and social realm.
The fight for justice in this narrative is supernatural because the human systems are broken. Completely broken.
And the method of attack, it often starts with investigation, with exposure, not with fangs and fire. This is where the third part of the sources comes in with titles like How This Started and, my favorite, The Records Don't Match.
Wait, so the Hellhounds and the Cave Digger are basically filing a supernatural FOIA request. That changes things.
It does, and the visuals are so detailed. We see this messy desk just piled high with files, papers everywhere, giant question marks drawn on them, and a single flashlight beam cutting through the dark, lighting up one specific document.
That's not just clutter. That's a metaphor for deliberate obfuscation, for hiding the truth in a mountain of paperwork.
The corruption is literally hiding in the paperwork, and that flashlight beam is the truth being revealed. It shows that the first step of this vigilante justice is uncovering the truth that was intentionally buried.
So the failure isn't just bad people. It's a bad system. A system designed to bury mistakes and protect the guilty.
Financial records, political deals, historical cover-ups. The spirits are forced to become forensic accountants because the living system refuses to be transparent.
But the dead aren't working alone. The sources introduce this crucial human figure, the cowboy, or just a figure in a cotton field, usually masked with a bandana.
He's the bridge. He's the living part of this vigilante justice, the anonymous person willing to put themselves on the line to help the supernatural reckoning, and he's standing in a cotton field, a really potent symbol of past injustice.
He feels like the ultimate whistleblower, someone who gets that the only way to expose the truth is to cooperate with these spectral forces.
Precisely. But what's so unsettling is who he's fighting against. In the same images, we see helicopters hovering over the field, watching him.
That is a terrifying escalation. The corrupt authority isn't just hiding files. It has modern aerial surveillance.
Exactly. So this masked figure is fighting against a powerful, airborne, modern system that is constantly watching. It shows you the power imbalance.
It creates this perfect loop of dysfunction. The corruption is so powerful, so high-tech, that you need supernatural entities just to level the playing field.
And any human who joins that fight immediately becomes a target of high-level surveillance. The corruption is institutional, it's financial, and it's backed by technology.
So the overall message is, it's about accountability, this desperate desire for justice when the system has failed and buried the truth.
It is. The sources make a compelling case that the only language a system like this understands, once it's gotten so powerful, is the language of supernatural terror and undeniable truth, brought forth by those who can't be silenced, the dead.
Well, this has been a truly fascinating journey through this supernatural battleground of the Deep South.
Yeah.
We've really established the unique role of these entities. They're the people's ultimate defenders.
They are. The central idea the material pushes is clear. In this specific Southern Gothic tradition, spirits and legends become a necessary supernatural counterforce to human corruption. They're the last resort, the only thing left that can't be corrupted.
And this raises a really important question for you, the listener, to think about. Given this powerful reliance on the supernatural to right wrongs, what does that tell us about our trust in, earthly conventional systems of justice?
What has to be fundamentally broken in a society if the only figures capable of restoring balance carry pickaxes and wear antler masks? Or have glowing green eyes?
Think about the symbolic cost of needing a hellhound or a witch to enforce the law, and what that says about the living.